Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Manchester United, Sheffield United preview. It's Wednesday, 8:15 kick-off at Old Trafford. It's top against bottom. We are undefeated in our last 10 games against Sheffield United in all competitions. Won 9 and drawn 1. The last time Sheffield United won a league game against us was back in August 1992. I can assure Sheffield United will be getting relegated this season. They've only won one game in the Premier League. I'm surprised Chris Wilder hasn't been sacked. Chris Wilder has been at Sheffield United for over 4 years now. But don't forget, Chris Wilder got them all the way from League One to the Premier League. I'm surprised at Sheffield United, because they was actually good last season. Did they finish, 8th or 9th? Before Sheffield United, Chris Wilder, I think, was at Northampton. He's managed Oxford before, he's managed Halifax, and he's managed Alfred Town. We beat Sheffield United at Old Trafford last season 3-0. It was a hat-trick from Anthony Martial. We're beating them at Bramall Lane earlier on this season 3-2. Now Sheffield United have got some good players in their team. McBurney, he's one of their key players. I think he's actually been out with injury. They've got Norwood, he's one of their key players. They've got that Musset, he's one of their key players. I think he's been out with injury. They've also got that John Fleck, he's one of their key players. They've got Billy Sharp, he's one of their key players. They've got McGoldrick, he's certainly one of their key players. Osborne, he's out with injury. Robinson, he's out with injury. O'Connell, he's out for the season for them. They've got that Berg, I think he's out with injury until March. Egan, I think he's suspended. So they are a few of Sheffield United's players. On my next video, I will be giving you my starting 11 prediction for this game. We won our last league game. We did beat Fulham 2-1 at Craven Cottage. We recently beat Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round 3-2. Obviously our goals came from Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. Greenwood and Rashford also got assists in the game. Liverpool's goals both came from Mohamed Salah, and Roberto Firmino got the assists for both of Salah's goals. Solskjaer praised our mentality in the FA Cup win against Liverpool. On my recent video, I give you an update on Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford sustained a knee injury against Liverpool. He came off with 4 minutes left. Solskjaer has said that he will be having a scan on his knee. hopefully the injury won't be too severe. Solskjaer will be making changes in this game against Sheffield from the 3-2 win against Liverpool. Our next game after Sheffield is Arsenal away at the Emirates, and that's going to be a tough test. But we have been playing really, really well. Performances are improving. Hopefully these good performances can persist. Players are improving. Paul Pogba's in good form. Cavani's doing well. He's done well since he's come in. Bay has been playing well since he started playing again. Luke Shaw's in very, very good form. David De Gea, he's getting back to his best. Bruno Fernandes continues to deliver the goods. Scored a fantastic free kick against Liverpool. Fred's been in very, very good form. McTominay can be good when he wants to be. Greenwood, he did well against Liverpool, but I haven't really had much of a perception on him this season because he hasn't played as many games as I expected. We've been very, very good away from home in the league. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We are unbeaten in our last 17 Premier League away games. We obviously equalled the record from the 98-99 season. Now, if we do beat Arsenal at the end of this month, we would have broken that record. And we are unbeaten, in our last 13 Premier League games. The last team to beat us in the league was Arsenal in early November. We're into the FA Cup 5th round, which is very, very good. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. We lost that to Man City 2-0. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club. He got us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us 3rd. Second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So you can see the progress that Solskjaer is making. So like I said this morning, he's proving he's the right manager for Manchester United. We're top of the Premier League. No one thought we'd have been in this position, reflecting how poor we was earlier on in the season. We can win the Premier League this season, and if we do, it will be our 21st title overall, and it will be our first Premier League title since 2013. And then I can assure Solskjaer is a long-term manager for Man United if we win the Premier League. These 3 trophies that we can pursue this season, we can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. Solskjaer knows how important it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has outlasted Frank Lampard, because it has been confirmed today that Chelsea have sacked Frank Lampard after 18 months in charge. Because obviously Chelsea have been in a bad vein of form. I think Thomas Tuchel is replacing Lampard at Chelsea. I think this is good news for us that Lampard's been sacked, because it gives us a greater opportunity in the transfer market. And like I mentioned on my recent video, I think there's a good chance now that Declan Rice could be coming to Man United, because with Lampard being sacked, I don't think Chelsea are no longer in for him, because Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on Declan Rice. Recent reports did say that West Ham are considering lowering their asking price for Declan Rice to £50 million. But but West Ham actually value him at around £80 million. I'd take him at Man United. He's well Premier League proven, breaks up the play well, he's predominantly a holding midfielder. Still got a lot of development in him. This was stemming from ESPN not so long ago, saying that Man United are set to rival Chelsea for Declan Rice. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the club, he's gained some managerial experience. Man United is the third club in his managerial career, and I think he's learnt quite a lot on the job. Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager now for over 2 years. This is his second full season at the football club, and he's managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. Now, I think reflecting on the progress he's made, he's on course to earn himself a new contract. He's more than halfway through his 3-year deal. He did sign the 3-year contract back in March 2019 when we give him the job on a permanent basis. We give him the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But Solskjaer is certainly bringing the old Man United back. We have come from behind in a lot of games this season, and we used to do that a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So we are getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. It's just good, that we are being very, very consistent now, because we didn't see consistency for a long time. Obviously, 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was obviously Moyes. Sacked him after 10 months, was very inconsistent under him. Louis van Gaal, we sacked him after 2 years. We started pretty consistent under him, and then obviously it all went downhill. Louis van Gaal did win the FA Cup at Man United though. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. And we had probably one good season under him because he won 3 trophies in his first season. And then it all went downhill. I give you the reasons why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board and bad disputes with the top players, and the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in. Mourinho made it clear to our board in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to get a centre-half in, and he obviously never got that centre-half in. But yeah, putting things into circulation now, Solskjaer is the best manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. But I think, mistakes have been made since Ferguson left, and that's why we was inconsistent for so long. Obviously, we've spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson left. We've brought, 36, 37 players in since Ferguson left. Under the David Moyes era, we brought Marion Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Louis van Gaal, he must have brought around, 14, 15 players in. He brought likes of Schneidlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Romero, Herrera, Victor Valdez. So they're a lot of the players that Louis van Gaal brought in, and Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the football club. Like I said, the vast majority of this team is actually Jose Mourinho's. Solskjaer's inheriting them. And to Solskjaer's credit, he's made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nigalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Palestri and Amad Diallo Traore. But obviously Solskjaer hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in, because like I said, in the transfer windows he's endured, he hasn't really got the backing that he deserves. But obviously, Ed Woodward has already promised that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He did say towards the end of last year that he'll back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. Woodward obviously said when we was having bad periods under Ole that he assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job was safe. Solskjaer has already given us an update on our January transfer plans. And he did say that January signings are unlikely, but he admits there could be further more departures. This January transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window at the club, and we've got just 1 week left to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the transfer support he needs. Like I've said to you already, Solskjaer's confirmed that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave. He confirmed that the other week because he mentioned that their contracts won't be extended. Jesse Lingard, the news on him. ESPN recently said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has reluctantly agreed to let Lingard go out on loan. But ESPN also mentioned he won't be allowed to leave Manchester because he wants to stay in the Premier League. Lingard wasn't even part of the squad for the game against Liverpool. Odin Ighalo, we're also expecting him to leave because his loan expires at the end of this month. Daniel James, he's lost his place in the team, and there's obviously been narratives of him going out on loan, and there's been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan because he's now our 3rd choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles, and I think more players could leave Man United in the summer. So yeah, we're focusing more on the outgoings rather than the incomings in this window. But I think we are looking to make around 4 signings, is it, this year to complete our squad overhaul. You already know the news on, the transfers and that, and what players have been linked to Man United. I give you the news on Daya Upamecano. I've given you the news on Rice, mentioned it earlier on, didn't I? And on this video earlier on. I give you the news on Kalidou Koulibaly a couple of days ago. I've given you the 3 areas where I think Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. There's also a lot of players we're going to keep at the club. We're obviously going to keep more players than we're going to sell this year. We'll certainly keep Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Rashford has been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And since then, he has become an integral part of the team. He's endured some bad periods, the good players do, and players in general do. Rashford can play out wide, he can play him centrally, but I prefer him out wide because that's where he's more effective. He gets good runs in, can put some good deliveries in as well, can create chances. So he's the foreseeable future for Man United. Anthony Martial, now I think we'll keep him. I don't know how long for, but probably for at least the next 1 or 2 seasons. Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. Martial hasn't really been clinical enough in front of goal. He's had his chances though, but just hasn't converted them. Earlier on this season, he had a 3-match suspension in the Premier League because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. Wasn't a sending off though. I thought Martial was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial's been at the club now for over 5 years. A lot last season we played him centrally. Solskjaer give him that number 9 shirt. But yeah, sometimes he plays centrally, sometimes he plays out wide. There has been a lot of United fans saying that he does need to be dropped. Martial didn't start the game against Liverpool, but he did come on. Martial could play in this game against Sheffield. Edison Cavani. He's made a fantastic impact since he got recommended in. You know, he's scored goals. He also creates chances as well. I thought he was quiet against Liverpool, Cavani. He did win the free kick though, to his credit, for the winning goal from Bruno Fernandes, and he also hit the post. Not so long ago, Cavani was serving a 3-match ban for the racist comment that he put on social media back in December. Obviously, Edison Cavani apologised. Solskjaer confirmed he had apologised for that. Solskjaer was talking about Cavani earlier on this season, saying that he's definitely a starter. We're already looking to extend his contract. And Solskjaer revealed the first thing that Edison Cavani asked him, and that's whether he could wear the number 7 shirt. Yeah, we got him on a free last summer on deadline day. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a second. So there you go. We'll also keep Mason Greenwood. Like I said, Mason Greenwood did do well against Liverpool. Got his name on the score sheet and got an assist and had half of a chance in the first half. I haven't really had much of a perception on Greenwood this season, like I've mentioned, because earlier on this season he had obviously personal issues. One point he was out with injury, and at one point he had illness. Solskjaer's been defending him a lot this season. At the start of this season, we give Greenwood that number 11 shirt. You can play him top, and you can also put him out wide. You know, we've played him on that right-hand side quite a few times. We'll also keep Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes is our best player. Certainly has made the difference in the team. He hasn't even been at the club yet a year, but it's almost a year. We'll keep Donny van de Beek for at least this season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has promised that Donny van de Beek will get more game time at Manchester United. Solskjaer did say prior to the game against Liverpool in the Cup that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at Manchester United because of his lack of game time. ESPN recently said that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek because, you know, we're blocking him from leaving on loan in this January transfer window. Solskjaer spoken about Donny van de Beek earlier on this season. You know, he said he insists that he has a bright future at Man United, and he tips him to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at the club. We got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million. Last summer, we paid $35 million up front and there was $5 million in add-ons, and Van de Beek's under contract with the club till 2025. And he can play in like 3 different roles. You can put him as a box-to-box midfielder. That was his predominant position at Ajax. A lot of United fans are saying we should put Donny van de Beek as a box-to-box midfielder because that's where he'll be more effective. You can play him as a number 10. We started him in that number 10 against Liverpool in the Cup. And you can also play him out wide. Most of Donny van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. You know, he's only started 2 games in the league, and that was against West Ham and Southampton. Ronald de Boer, earlier on this season, urged Donny van der Beek to leave to boost his chances for the Euros. But yeah, Van der Beek's good when he plays, don't get me wrong. We'll also keep Fred, because I think Fred has really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Like I said, he shows good attacking intent and he breaks up the play well and he can get forward well. I just think he needs to work on the reading of his game. Fred's been at the club now for a few years. We got him for £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago. Under the Jose Mourinho era, Fred never really got his opportunities, did he? Let's be honest. We'll also keep Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay can be a good player when he wants to be. Certainly his best game in a Man United shirt was the 6-2 win against Leeds, because he scored twice in that game and he got an assist. And he did well in the Watford game in the 3rd round of the Cup. He scored in the 5th minute of that one, and he actually was the captain in that, game until obviously Harry Maguire came on. McTominay has been part of the club for several years. We could keep Paul Pogba now, potentially past the summer. It said after the Fulham game that Paul Pogba is considering making a U-turn at the club. And Paul Pogba could end up signing a long-term contract at Man United. His future is on hold until the end of the season. Paul Pogba recently contradicted Mino Raiola for the 2nd time. But to Paul Pogba's credit, his performances have recently been very good. He scored a fantastic goal against Fulham. He hit it with his left foot, went into the bottom corner, and he was around 20 yards out. He did very well in the game against Liverpool in the Cup recently. Had some chances in that first half. He won the first balls, won the second balls. His work rate was good. Pogba's done well since he come back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury, and he had a minor problem not so long ago. But Paul Pogba looks certain to leave, but he is now inspiring our title challenge. Don't forget, Mino Raiola told 2 Sport last month that Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. And Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United till June 2022. But he has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with PSG, he's been linked with a return to Juventus, and he's been linked with a move to Real Madrid. Didn't play him in more of an advanced role against Liverpool, but recently in the league he's been playing in more of an advanced role. That's actually where he's more effective. But yeah, if we are to sell Paul Pogba, I think it said we want £75 million. We'll also keep Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's really improved, like I said earlier on. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. And to be honest with you, I'm really surprised that Luke Shaw is still our first choice left back. Because I thought when we got Tellez in, Tellez would have been our first choice left back. Alex Tellez hasn't played as much as I expected him to, but don't forget at one point he did have COVID. We'll obviously keep Tellez as well. Surely more opportunities will come for him soon. Harry Maguire will also keep him. I think he's really improved as well. Weren't great against Liverpool, but Harry Maguire still wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's our current captain. You know, Eric Bailly, I think we're going to keep him for at least this season or the next couple of seasons. He's done well since he started playing again, Bailly, but he is injury prone, that's my concern, but certainly prefer him to Lindelof. We'll also keep on Wan-Bissaka. He's the foreseeable future for Man United. Defensively, superb, but we've got concerns about his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. So he needs to get forward more, does Wan-Bissaka, and at times he can get forward and he can put good crosses into the box. You know, De Gea, we're also going to keep him, because De Gea, you know, is getting back to his best, and this is David De Gea's 10th season now at Man United. He has been a long servant, and he's going to remain our number one for at least this season. Dean Henderson, we're also going to keep him. He'll be our number one at some point. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.